Hey everybody, welcome back. Who's ready for some TikTok wedding drama? This gal, that gal. Let's go, let's get into it.
So what's going on with the wedding TikTok drama? So a woman named Louisa made a video accusing TikTokers Andrea and Luis of stealing or copying her wedding. Now let's take a look at what she claims. First up, both couples had their wedding at the same venue in Tulum, Mexico.
Great venue.
This is Louisa's wedding, and this is Andrea's wedding. And one of the bigger points of contention seems to be that she got her wedding dress custom designed from a designer. Here's another photo of it, but that Andrea got a dress that was also designed by the same designer. Here's another photo of that dress. This was her dress and crown headband, and this is the allegedly copied dress and headband. And the creator was upset because her father-in-law handmade this headband for her, and she said that the other woman's looked like a knockoff from Etsy. She continues to claim this for a lot of things about the wedding. This is her husband's tunic and dress she wore, and this is the other wedding with the husband wearing what she calls a tunic. This is the short dress that Andrea wore in the other wedding, her wedding chairs, their wedding chairs, her table setup, their table setup, her wedding semicircle, their wedding semicircle.
Okay.
Basically, what she's arguing is that she spent a lot of time and money coming up with personal and sentimental touches for her wedding, only for a larger creator to come in and replicate them without understanding how important these details were and how they were indicative of her love story with her husband.
All right, not to say that the original bride and groom who had this aesthetic didn't do something original, but as someone who has been to this venue, it's called Azulik, it's in Tulum, Mexico. Tulum has a very specific aesthetic. It's kind of like bohemian hippie. I was totally inspired by it as well. I have plenty of little like art pieces in my house that are reminiscent of Tulum. So it's not the first time that I've seen, like, for example, a headband like this. Like, this one maybe is a little bit more unique, but like the headbands are a thing in Tulum. That's like a fashion thing in Tulum. They sell them everywhere. It's not uncommon to get a picture in this exact spot. I'm pretty sure I also have a picture in this exact spot and also know people who have a picture in this exact spot. So to say that this wedding venue is super original and the aesthetic is super original, I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's not. That is the most followed hotel on Instagram, okay? It's bound to attract other people that wanna get married there, but not too many other people, because the fact of the matter is that, like, that hotel is very expensive. It's not a cheap place to stay, and I can tell you right now, it is not a cheap place to have a wedding. All right, so let's hear from the bride who feels like she was ripped off.
The more I look at it, it gets worse. The crown is probably the worst. Just look at the shape. This is my crown. My husband's dad handmade me this crown. So much thought, magic, literally energy work from my family. And you just Etsy it? Moving on. Our wedding chairs, they're wedding chairs. They even tried to get our wedding venue. The drape, the glass colors, the table setup. Our drapes, our glass colors, our table setup. Oh yeah, and they wanted a semicircle. Just look at the colors, look at the arrangement. Our semicircle, do you even know why we chose a circle? Do you even know? All of those things had meaning, and they were a reflection of our love story, and you stole that.
I'm sure they were a reflection of your love story and your culture. But again, like, these chairs, they're not uncommon in Tulum. I have one. I love it. I bought one specifically because I saw them everywhere. So here's a response from the bride and groom that's being accused of copying.
Hey guys, so we got married finally. We haven't been able to like post about it or anything. We've been like deadly sick, especially me. We had to address something because we've been seeing these videos about our wedding and about us.
All right,
let's get into it.
You're telling me this is like not copy paste.
Okay, I'm gonna get like right into what I think is like the big deal. We got our dress designed by the same designer.
Luisa's wedding dress is not the first wedding dress they've designed. If no one's allowed to use those incredible designers, then I'm sorry, my bad.
Basically, I got an original dress designed in December 2021 by a totally different company. When it arrived, it was like 3 sizes too big. I got it altered and tried to get it fixed, but when something is that big, it doesn't get altered correctly, and so it literally looked bad, right? Some people might like the dress, it just wasn't my style.
Our venue was Azulik, the place where they designed the dress. We reached out to the Azulik team and we were like, would you be able to make us a dress?
We had seen Luisa's dress before.
It's gorgeous.
Now, if you look at the details, we have very different dresses. Those two dresses are gonna look similar because it's the same designer.
The art that they put into the two dresses is completely different. The designer's style is so unique. She's claiming that the dresses are the same.
Which I think is also disrespectful to the designers. It's kind of like gatekeeping. They can't design for other people. I actually followed this girl because I thought, wow, like, I love her style. I mean, that's why you follow influencers. Like,
our dresses are very, very different. If you get a Galia Lahav and another person gets a Galia Lahav, the Galia Lahav dresses are gonna have similarities.
For wedding chairs, they're wedding chairs.
The chairs,
that's just funny.
you're reaching because so many people do
You're
those wedding
reaching.
chairs. If you go to Tulum and you see the style of weddings there,
Of any wedding, it's
we
all
have
boho.
We have a lot of receipts from our wedding planning process from way before you were married. It was those boho kind of earthy, dusty rose tones.
And like, I understand if in a way you might have been upset at first, but when you're taking it so far and reaching and it's like our chairs are the same, the designers had those chairs because many people use those chairs.
They even tried to get our wedding venue.
Well, yes, we did. We reached out to their venue in
February 23rd, 2022. She says in her video she got married in May. So there's no way we would have known that she was gonna get married there.
Listen, Tulum is a small place. We went to every single wedding venue in Tulum.
We reached out to so many venues.
We actually had a venue and it turned into a messy beach club and we had to cancel last minute.
Their exclusive wedding, my wedding that happened last May.
Our venue, we got married in Azulik Omai, which she did a photo shoot there. That's where they make the dresses. The aisle picture that she was just talking about, that was Andrea's aisle. She walked down the aisle.
That was my
way.
literal aisle. Like, it's
That
not
wasn't
like,
just a remake of her photo.
Let me remake your photo. On that point, here are several examples of Azulik's Instagram where that video and that photo has been recreated dozens of times.
Because Azulik is iconic for their
It
water
is.
path.
Like, if you go to any venue, any wedding that is done at any venue is gonna have similar pictures because they have like the best spots to take pictures.
I think that this is a case of an influencer who is angry that she influenced somebody. And that's just my personal opinion. The Tulum aesthetic, Tulum is just one big photo backdrop, okay? It is a place where everybody goes to get pictures. They get pictures in the same exact spots. All of the aesthetic is the same. The chairs are the same. Like, it's a great aesthetic for a wedding, but it is not original. That's how I feel about it. If you don't want people to copy your wedding aesthetic, you can't really be upset when you post it on social media and people are inspired by you. A lot of people get inspo from other weddings, you know?
So this is the day of her second appointment, meaning she missed her first appointment the day before. It is Friday, her wedding's on Saturday. I put her at 8 a.m. on purpose so that she could not tell me that she, the bridal store messed up something or the floral shop messed up something. Nothing's open, you should have no problems. The day of the appointment comes, it's 8 a.m., y'all. 8 o'clock, she's not there. 8:10, she's not there. 8:30, she's not there. So I texted her like 8:15 and was like, hey, if I don't hear from you by 8:25, I'm not gonna be able to do your appointment because I have another appointment and I also have school and I have appointments after class. So like at this point, you're just wasting my time and it just seems to be no regard. So at this point, it's like 8:35 and I haven't heard from her, y'all. I've called her multiple times. I think that's what was pissing me off. I'm calling her, she's not responding. Okay, so at this point, I'm literally pissed. So I called my hair mentor and she's like cutthroat. So she's like, yeah, no, you don't owe her nothing. Like, you don't need to service her anymore because, again, she can't even just pick up the phone and text you and let you know, hey, this is what's going on. At least communicate with me so I can at least try to have some type of sympathy for you. But it's the fact that you don't even give a damn. You're not even texting me back. Like, do you care about your wedding? Because it's like, why? Yeah, no. So at the time, I lived in an apartment complex. And in order to access my building, somebody had to let you in. And you had to park directly in front of my window, essentially. From my living room, I can see everyone who parks to get into my particular building. So at about 8:45, I hear some noise outside. So I go look, and it's the woman. And I see her, not only is she like just gallivanting out the car slowly, but she has a friend with her. And they're laughing loud as hell. Like something was literally tickling them. Moving with no urgency whatsoever. So I'm like, ain't no mother freaking way that you 45 minutes late to your appointment, you haven't called me, you haven't said nothing, and you laughing outside my window. So she calls me, I don't pick up, and I call her back within 1 minute, and she's like, Toastin, where are you? I've been outside calling your phone for about 20 minutes. Keep in mind, I told her at 8:15, if I didn't hear from her by 8:25, I would no longer be able to accommodate her appointment. So now she's trying to tell me she's been outside for 20 minutes. Girl, what? Okay, so now I'm annoyed because I'm like, you really not only playing with my time, but you playing on my intelligence because you think that you've been releasing outside for 20 minutes and I'm not gonna know? Girl, shut up. So then I'm like, look up. Like, just look up. So she looks up and I'm like, you see me looking down at you? yeah, I can see you from my building. And I was like, I literally watched you drive up 2 minutes ago laughing with your friend. I saw your friend get out the car and get back in when she realized she couldn't get into the building. So she's like, okay, so what now? Are you not going to service me? Are you not going to service me? And I'm like, no, because you don't even have regard for my time. I literally tried communicating with you, calling you, texting you, nothing. You don't care about your appointment, so why should I? So then she's like, you would never, you dare not, you dare not. Keep in mind, I said we're both Nigerian, so here she comes, you dare not. Your parents never raised you to be like that. They would never raise you to be like that.
Your parents would never raise you to value your time. How dare you? Everybody's late sometimes, all right? With a good excuse, if you have a reasonable reason for being late, it's fine. But you gotta communicate that. You gotta apologize for wasting somebody else's time. Because if you don't care, that is just like, you just don't care about someone else's time that you're wasting. By you being late, you are making someone else wait around for you. And if you're not sorry about that, that kind of like shows something, right?
So she's like, you dare not. Your mother would never. And I'm like, my mother told me about 20 minutes ago to block your number because my mama also know that you're not about to play with my time like that. So she was like, I don't care. Come and open this door. Come and open this door. And one thing about me, I am very respectful, but I am nobody's fool. And I don't like when Nigerians try to take advantage of the fact that I'm Nigerian and speak to me in a manner in which, one, they would not want to be spoken to, and two, they would not like for someone to speak to their children. So I went downstairs. I had her hair because she had dropped off the bundles and the closure for her sewing when I did her install for the wig. So I went downstairs to give it to her, and she's like, what are you coming downstairs to do? To come and beat me? To come and beat me? And I'm like, girl, I would never. So I handed her bundles, and she was like, they don't born you well. If your name is so-and-so, and I literally turned around. I was like, I'm gonna stop you right there. Don't go no further because this don't need to get ugly. So I went upstairs, and that was that. About 30 minutes later, her wedding planner calls me, and her wedding planner was like, hey, we don't have a backup. I completely understand, what happened, but please, if you're willing to accommodate so-and-so. And I let her know that I was not willing to accommodate her because of the fact that I had given her multiple chances. This was her second appointment that she missed. And it was simply the fact that she lacked the regard to communicate with me. Hey, I'm running behind. Hey, that time is not going to work for me. Y'all know y'all going to be late before y'all late. Why am I calling you 15 minutes after your appointment for you to tell me that you're not going to be there? I know you're not going to be there. You not here. So I was like, no. And the irony, after I declined the service in the woman, the wedding planner actually told me, you know what? I commend you and I respect you. She told me that was the hardest client that she had ever worked with to date, and how every vendor for this wedding said they would never work with the woman again. Wow. And she had to beg all of them. They all wanted to cancel at one point or another because, again, she lacked regard. She was paying people whenever she wanted to. Her mindset was like, you gonna do it either way. And so she was paying people whenever she wanted to. She was showing up to appointments, gallivanting in whenever she wanted to, bringing guests even though they said no guests. It was just a lack of regard for her service provider. And I don't have to provide the service. I can decline, which I did.
Sounds like somebody needed to learn a hard lesson. Okay. This is what happens when you don't care about other people's time. What I find really funny is that even the wedding planner couldn't make any excuses for this bride. It's just like,
yeah, sorry, I get it. Personally, I would just really appreciate it if you could help out because, I don't want to deal with her. Just please, dear God, do it because, for me, I'm going to have to be the one that deals with her.
Not my problem. Respect is given when it is earned. I respect everybody. Right off the bat, I will be respectful. But if you disrespect me, no respect. I shall withhold the respect.
Okay, so I got married almost a year ago now. And so I think now is a good time to tell this story. At my wedding, I didn't have traditional maid of honors and stuff. I had one maid of honor, and I told her you can wear whatever dress you want. And then I had 2 bridesmaids, which were just my close friends. And everyone was allowed to wear whatever dress they wanted. But my maid of honor chose to wear a white lacy dress that was first of all, super skimpy. Everything was hanging out. And a lot of people commented oh, she looks like the bride. She looks like the bride. Even the wedding photographer set the picture up she was the bride. Also, I found out later she started sleeping with my husband. That's a story for another time. But here's a picture. All right, so that's me.
Gorgeous.
And that's her. Look at that. It literally looks like she's the bride and I'm just there. It's ridiculous. Look at that.
God, I feel like my trust has been betrayed. Girl, I listened to you! I cared about you! Why'd you have to do me like that?
Would you put a bride's wedding dress on your credit card? So my friend is like the sweetest person in the world, but sometimes she finds herself in situations where people definitely borderline take advantage. So an old colleague reached out to her randomly and was like, let's grab brunch one day. It's been such a long time. And she didn't really have anything in common with her. But, we live in a big city. That's kind of all about networking. So she had the free time and she agreed to go to go to brunch with this woman. So the woman has a wedding coming up, and like within 5 minutes of sitting down, she's brought it up and said, hey, I remember you have a relative who works at insert well-known name of a bridal fashion company here. And they have a really great friends and family discount. Can you put my wedding dress on your charge card? And my friend was really taken aback, but like in
the audacity!
Didn't know what to say. It was like 5 minutes since they had sat down to eat, and it was promising to be like a super awkward conversation. So she just said yes, and she put it on her credit card. And then the rest of the brunch was super awkward because they actually didn't have anything else to talk about. She had pretty blatantly just asked her out to do her that favor. And it's like not a huge charge. It's not like a $40,000 wedding dress or anything. It's probably like, between like $1,000 and $3,000. But me with my business acumen built up buying stuff out of trunks in streets of southern Italy. I was like, did she give you cash right away?
No.
Or putting all this stuff like on your personal account?
She didn't.
She was like, no, because it really hasn't gotten through yet. So the payment is pending.
Good luck.
So now
Good luck with that.
Like shipping updates on this other girl's wedding dress. She's not even really friends with her. And she doesn't have the money yet. So my suggestion was to
withhold
cancel
it.
The order. Oh, she also didn't pay for breakfast. Yeah, so I think she would be totally justified in just canceling the order. And then when this bride realizes the position she's put this other person in without offering them like anything in return, it will teach her a lesson. But I think I'm definitely the asshole in this case.
I don't know. I would probably still go through with it, but not give her the dress until she paid for it. But still, like, you don't even know this girl. Like, the audacity. And she didn't pay for her own lunch. That to me is a surefire sign that you will never see any of that money. So maybe a good idea would be to cancel it.
Just be like, oh, sorry, it didn't work out. Yeah, I don't have that discount anymore. My bad.
Trust me, you'll never hear from her again. My favorite part is that she brought up what she wanted immediately, and then you guys had literally nothing else to talk about. Like, why are people so obvious about it? At least hide the fact that the only reason why you want to contact this person is because you want something. Excuse me.
What I've got. Right, is this the one? Yeah, I've got 5 of them. It's lovely, isn't it?
No, hang on.
Come on. What's
No,
that?
wait,
It's got no glue in it.
Mum, did you
How's that, love?
Yeah, look,
Did you actually get 5 of these?
Yeah. They're really nice. They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
It's got
No.
Why does that matter?
Well, I know that. Talked about this. Literally, Dad, we had this full conversation. I said, don't get anything clingy, don't get anything long, and whatever you do.
There's just no pleasing you.
No, honestly, Mum, this was like the one job that you wanted, the one thing that you wanted to do, and it's
You're so.
No, you're stupid!
I've been out all morning looking for these.
Right, Dad.
It's so right.
It's white!
What's wrong with that?
Just what was the things that
The
I said?
material, it's really nice. No.
I'm not being funny, but bring it here. Look at the material. It's the cheap material. So
It's
you
not
think,
cheap.
right, when Hattie
he is wearing now, that's going to sit there on it. The one thing that I said about my bridesmaids is I want them to be comfortable.
But I can't take them back now.
Why would you buy them? Why would you? I said, just get one.
This is what I thought you wanted.
How much?
You don't really know.
There you are. Not cheap.
No. But I don't, no, Dad, I don't care if it's cheap or not. Andy, you can off right now. Andy, no, he's laughing, he's me off. No, Dad, I said, go to the shop, get one that you can take back with a receipt so we can have a look at it.
Everyone's worked really hard to get that. There's nothing.
And I've not been working
There's
hard.
nothing.
It's
wrong with
white!
that.
It's literally white!
So it's good, right? Imagine how you will feel on your daughter's wedding when the bridesmaids have got white. And
You won't even notice that because they've got the blue in it.
It's lovely, the blue is freaked out. It's ridiculous.
Hey!
No!
Calm down a bit.
Dad, I think she was one job that
You're always having a go at me. I can't do anything right for you.
Yeah, because you gave. No! Stop it!
No!
You're just getting a bit
No, because we have got.
leave it, alright?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong.
Yeah, I really like it, Kelly.
Throw the
I
whole
really
family
like it.
away, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's just been a wind up. I just feel like I've got a lot going on with this wedding. This was your one job and we talked.
Why don't we see what they're like when they're on?
Yeah, but
You can't even tell when it's just hung up like this.
Who cares?
They need to wear
Hey,
them.
hey,
You need to have them
hey,
on.
I'm watching this.
No, are you joking me, Dad?
No,
This
I'm
is
not joking.
serious.
That is perfectly fine.
There's nothing wrong
Nothing
with
more to
it.
say.
Yeah, why don't you try it on?
Yeah.
Do you know what, honestly, Anthony, see, not
Good
now.
idea, that.
Why don't you put it on?
Right, this is the thing, look, right? It doesn't matter now if they try one or not, because if it looks we can't take it back. We have such a small budget.
But we can
You
get
have literally.
we can
Yeah,
get the accessories to go with it.
and this budget, right? Who's in charge of spending?
Yeah.
Hey, me. It's costing me.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Come on.
No, come on, Kelly, nothing!
No.
Right, it's just not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted. And I feel like last night we sat on the sofa, we looked at pictures. No, Dad, we did. We all sat here. We looked at pictures. We chose the right one. And I just feel
There's
like
nothing wrong with them.
It's beautiful, but it's your style. It's not going to compromise to any what my brides want. And you know, Harriet, she's not going to feel comfortable in that kind of material.
All I've done is try to do the best by you, and I just can't do anything right.
I just honestly.
If the bride tells you, if she gives you a responsibility and she tells you, do not, under any circumstances, get white, and you go and get white, that is your fault. Your fault. I'm with the bride on this one. And honestly, what the hell is going on with this family? They gaslighting the hell out of you, bro. How hard is it to follow the simple freaking instructions? God, I am so riled up. I'm so riled up.
Is it true that you threatened your husband if he didn't cry at your wedding?
Yes.
Period, yes.
You wanted real emotion. You wanted to go there.
I actually specifically verbatim said, if I don't see you crying when I walk down the aisle, I'm turning around.
Oh, and he did.
And he did cry.
Under duress.
I love that.
He cried under duress. He cried because he was scared. But seriously, you better cry. You better cry at the sight of them, husband-to-bees, or you're gonna end up in one of these videos.
Subscribe.